What's up, everybody? My name is Ron Empire and welcome to my channel. Today I want to give you a detailed guide on fishing. This is my ultimate everything fishing video. This guide may be long, so check the video's description for chapter jumps to skip to the information you're looking for. Apparently, August is National Fishing Month, which is a great opportunity for me to present to you this guide. In this video, I will tell you everything about fishing from the equipments used to the various mechanics and even demonstrate how to catch a fish playing the minigame. I will go over various water sources for fishing and where to find them. Before I continue, I want to clarify something. Fishing in the different biomes has nothing to do with the actual fishing rod itself. The fishes and the water do not require a specific rod. The only thing that is important is your total fishing points. This number determines if you're able to fish in a certain water type. I've seen a lot of YouTube fishing videos and various fishing guides saying you need a better fishing rod to fish in certain biomes. I can tell you this is inaccurate information. You can actually use the wooden fishing rod for everything if you have enough fishing points. So in this video, I'm going to give you the internal fishing point requirements for each of the water types. This magic number isn't published anywhere, not even the wiki pages, at least not yet anyways. I haven't seen any YouTube videos mentioning these numbers either. I spent a great deal of time fishing and testing for these numbers. So stick around and I'll share with you my findings. To catch a fish, you simply go to a water tile and equip the fishing rod. To do this, place the fishing rod anywhere on your action bar and select the rod. So here I've got the wooden fishing rod on my action bar. It's currently in the 7th slot. And to equip it, I just click on it like this and notice my graphics change from the sword to the fishing rod. Here I'm standing next to a regular water source using a wooden fishing rod. The fishing rod is currently mapped to the right mouse button. You can actually change this button to anything that you want. When you first right-click, a blue moving bar appears. This bar is related to how far you want to throw your line. This bar does not affect the minigame or what you catch. The distance does not matter. If you hold the right-click and let this bar reach the end, it will just throw the line 3 tiles out. If you right-click and let go immediately, it will just place the line into the tile in front of you. Now just wait for the fish bopper to jiggle up and down. You will see a ripple animation and also hear an audio cue, like so. When you right-click again on the animation, one of 3 things will happen. You might get an item, and this will simply just go into your inventory or on the floor if your bag is full. You might get a text message saying you need better tools or something, and I'll explain what that means exactly later. Or you'll get the fishing minigame. So this is the fishing minigame. Okay, the top bar represents the fish moving to the right, trying to get away, and the bottom bar represents your line tension. And the game plays simply like a red light, green light. When the fish is orange, you want to hold down your right click to reel it in. And when the fish is red, you let go so that the fish can get some slack and move to the right. And this will also relax the tension bar. The idea here is that you want to get your fish reeled in to the left without breaking the tension bar. And here I'm doing a terrible job of it, right? So as you can see, when the red bar goes to the left, that will break the tension of your line and then the fish will get away, right? Now, if you don't reel the fish in, then the fish will move all the way to the left and it'll also get away. And that's how the fishing minigame works. So let's try it again and I'll show you how it works. Hopefully we'll get it this time. There we go. So here, the fish was orange, so I held it down. Fish was red, I let go. Fish is red, I let go. Fish is down, I hold down the right. Fish is red, I let go. And as you can see, whenever you're holding the tension or holding down, the tension bar moves a little bit. Now, if you hold the tension down while it's red, the tension bar will move a lot faster. So the trick is to get this fish to reach the left, and that's how you catch the fish. All right. So let's say, like, if let's try to do this again and see if we I can demonstrate to you what happens when the fish goes all the way to the left. Okay, so if we don't do anything, right, the fish will just keep moving to the right, and if it hits this, it'll get away. See that? And if you hold down the tension bar too long while it's red, the tension bar moves actually a lot faster. You see that? And if the tension bar goes all the way to the right, it's game over and the fish gets away. Your line breaks. Now, every fish in the game actually has a unique movement pattern. If you play the minigame long enough, you'll eventually recognize these patterns and even identify which fish that you're going to catch before you even catch it. And the other thing too is that if you do memorize the movement pattern, you can even anticipate, when to reel the fish in and when to let go. So that's something to be on the lookout when you're playing the minigame. There are a couple of things that can affect this minigame to make it easier. It's mainly related to where the fish starts on the bar. By default, the fish starts in the middle. But if you have points in the first talent node, you can get the fish to start slightly closer to the left. And so let's take a look at my fishing talent tree. And as you can see, I've maxed this out with 5 points. Each point in this tree gives you 3% closer to be reeled in. So at 5 out of 5, I have a total of 15% closer. The other thing that you can use is the kelp mantle. And this one gives you 7% closer to be reeled in by default. And if you reinforce it, it will give you an extra 1%. And then there are the fishing baits. There's 2 different fishing baits that can help you reel it in closer. There's one here that says 6%, and then one here that's 7%. Now, baits are consumable items, and you have to equip them in your offhand. And you can only pick one bait at a time, so you'll have to choose between this one and this one. And this one, has other benefits as well. Fish bites faster. So anyways, I'll go over baits in a little bit in this video. Currently, the various fishing rods do not affect the minigame. A better fishing rod does not make the minigame easier. I've actually seen a bunch of YouTube videos that claim that if you use a better fishing rod, you're going to get an easier time with the fishing minigame. And that's not true. The devs might change this later. For example, they could give us a fishing rod that says fishing starts closer, or a fishing rod that gives bonus tension length. For the moment, the fishing rod you use does not affect the minigame. So let's talk about how the fishing points and the skill level work. When you first start a new character background that is not a fisherman, your fishing skill level will be at 0. The fisherman background will start with a fishing skill level of 3. Each fishing skill level gains you 1 fishing point, and this is similar to how the mining skill works. So let's go ahead and take a look at our fishing skills page. And here you can see my rollover that I'm maxed out at 100. So you can see for every 1 point, I get +1 fishing. So here I have 100 points, so that's 100 fishing. You can see your total fishing points from the character stats tab. So here we're going to take a look here at the character stats tab. And this is the adventure category fishing line right here. It says I have 138 fishing points. All right. And the fishing point can be raised depending on the fishing rod you use and the equipment you have on. So here I've got the fishing rod equipped, and so that's where my extra 38 points is coming from. So 100 points plus 38, and that's my total fishing points. All right. Now this fishing point, like I said, can be raised depending on the rod you use and the equipments you have on. So let me show you the various different rods and equipment that you can use. Okay, and let me take this away so it doesn't distract. And so here, let's go over the various fishing rods currently in the game. We have the wooden rod, we have the tin rod, the iron rod, the scarlet rod, and the octraine rod. All right, and each of these things can be crafted from their respective crafting workstation, with the exception of the wooden rod. The wooden fishing rod can be attained from choosing the fisherman background, and so you get that wooden rod for free. It's one of the perk items that you get. Now, if you didn't pick the fisherman as your background, that's okay. You can actually still get the fishing rod by creating a fisherman background character, and then log into your world, drop the rod, and log off, and then come back as your regular character and pick up the rod. So that's one way to get the rod. The other ways is the rod can be found from wooden crates and chests found in various points of interest. And so I mentioned the other rods. They're crafted from their respective workstation. So for example, the tin comes from the tin workbench, iron from the iron workbench, scarlet from the scarlet workbench, and the octarine bar comes from the octarine workbench. Okay. Your fishing point can also be raised from wearing the fishing ring called the seafoam ring. Now, if you happen to have two of these, you can put them in both of your ring slots. The Sunken Sea update recently added two other items that can increase your fishing points, the fishing necklace and the fishing helmet. You can also raise your fishing points by eating a cooked fish called the astral jelly, and this is a temporary buff to your fishing points. Alright, so the fishing ring is called the seafoam ring, and in the Sunken Sea update, you can now purchase it from the fishing trader. Previously, you had to fish it up the old-fashioned way from the Azeos water pool. The fishing necklace can also be purchased from the fishing trader or fished up from the clay biome water, including the toxic water. The astral jelly is from the Azeos water, and the helmet comes from the Sunken Sea water, and it's called the diving helm. In order to raise your actual fishing skill, you will need a fishing rod and then go do some fishing from a water source. So let's talk about the various water sources. Currently, as of the Sunken Sea update, there are a total of 8 types of water used as fishing sources in the game. There are 4 different water colors. 3 of them are unique, and 1 of them is dynamic. The dynamic water is the regular water that changes based on the biome tag. So here I'm going to share with you my secret findings for fishing in these pools. The regular water source here that you find in the dirt biome as a starting point, it has no biome label, so it has no requirement. Okay, now when this blue water appears in, say, the clay biome area, and it will actually be labeled clay biome, and I'll demonstrate this for you in a little bit, requires 60 fishing points. Okay, this is the same as the toxic water. So the toxic water is the yellow looking water that you can find from the clay biome. And the toxic water requires a minimum of 60 fishing points. The Forgotten Ruins water is the regular water that appears inside the Forgotten Ruins biome. It requires 100 fishing points. The Azeos water, okay, is the same as the Dynamics water, but it's just in the Azeos Wilderness with the Azeos Wilderness label for the biome, requires 140. The Infested Mold water, which is the white, milky, murky water, requires 160 points. The Sunken Sea water, which is the light blue colored water, it requires 180 points. All right. Now, if you take the regular water, right, and you actually transplant it into the Sunken Sea biome, it's also considered Sunken Sea water, and it also requires 180 points. This means that you can use the wooden fishing rod with 2 fishing rings and a necklace and be able to fish in any water pool. No fishing skill points required, and that's what I mean when I said the fishing rods is not tied to any of the fishing waters, right? You can just use the wooden fishing rod. So long as your fishing points meet these magic numbers that I've found, you can actually get any of the items and any of the fishes from the Sunken Sea water and any of these other waters, right? So one thing I want to point out is that if you're at a level where you can craft the Octraine Fishing Rod and you haven't started fishing yet, You don't need to craft the tin, iron, or the scarlet. You don't need the wooden rod. You don't need to buy the fishing ring. You can just take this Octraine Fishing Rod because it's got plus 238 fishing points. You can take that rod and fish in any single pool you want, and that will be just enough. And that will also allow you to free up your ring slots to wear other fishing rings. And I'll go over that in a little bit. Now, the size of the water pool does not matter. You can fish in a 1x1 water tile and get the same chance for items and fishes as a large body of water. Occasionally, you will find water tiles with fishes swimming in them. These are the fishing school pools. When you fish from these pools, they have a higher chance of getting fishes in them than items. So if you're looking to get fishes, then cast your line into these pools here, and each of these pools have a certain number of charges or catches. Successful catches will deplete the pool. These pools randomly spawn in the water. The only reason for having a large body of water is to increase your chances of getting these fishing school pools to spawn. So you can kind of see that over here, and then you can kind of see that over here by the toxic water. Now, these water pools actually sparkle in the dark, and the only reason why you don't see it sparkle on this side is because I've got the torch here, and it's kind of hard to see it. But you can kind of see the sparkle here on the left with that toxic water. All right, so the other thing too that I want to mention is that certain water can be relocated to other parts of the map. Remember those 3 unique water pools that I mentioned earlier? Well, the toxic water, the infested water, and the sunken sea water can be transplanted or relocated back to your base or wherever you want them to be, right? And the biome will not affect the type of fishes or items that you get from those pools. So this can be done by digging up a canal to let the water flow towards the direction of where you want to ultimately place them. And then go back and then just cover up the canal with ground tiles. So the regular water is dynamic and based on the biome tag it's located in. So you can't actually move Forgotten Ruins water or Azeos water. It just doesn't work like that. The water in the Forgotten Ruins biome will give you the content for that area. But if the water flows into the Azeos Wilderness, it gives you the content for the Azeos water. So let me show you an example of that here. This here I have the regular water, and it is right now in between a no biome label and a Forgotten Ruins label. So here, let's go ahead and open the map, and you can see this is the Forgotten Ruins tag, and that's where I'm currently standing, right? And then over here, I have no biome tag, right? So I've actually color-coded my tiles to show you which of the biome I'm currently standing in. So here, I'm standing right here is the Forgotten Ruins, and then here I'm standing in the regular. Now the water is really what matters. Where you're standing does not affect what you fish. It's actually the water tile that you're fishing from. So for example, if I stand on this tag here, this tile right here is the Forgotten Ruins. So let me take this tile out like this, and then if I fish in this pool here, right, I drop with my line like that, I'm in this pool right here. Whatever I get out of this pool here will be the Forgotten Ruins content, right? The Forgotten Ruins fishes and Forgotten Ruin items, even though I'm standing right now on a no biome tag. Okay, you see that? This is the gray kelp. And gray kelp comes from, gray kelp here comes from the Forgotten Ruins water source. So let me put that back. And so here I'm going to stand right here and show you. And this tag right here says no biome tag, right? So if I'm standing over here and I remove this and I stand over here, even though it says I'm standing in Forgotten Ruins, and if I turn this direction and I fish here, I will end up getting the regular dirt biome water or the no tag biome water content. And so this, let me quickly grab this for you to show you. And as you can see, this is the gem crab. And the gem crab comes from the regular water, no biome tag. So let me put that back down to show you. So where the water is where is the content that you'll get. It's not exactly where you're standing. I just wanted to point that out. All right, so here in my base, I've managed to move the toxic water from the clay biome into this gallery, fishing gallery here. And here I've got an example of my infected mold water transplanted here in this fishing gallery. And so here is another example of regular water. So let me remove all this to show you. Right, it's connected, right? Because the bridge is actually just water flows under the bridge. So here, if I stand like along here, you can see there's no biome, right? Any of this tile right here is no biome. And over here, I've got the Azeos Wilderness. So the water is exactly the same on the left side as the right side. The only difference is the biome tag. So if I stand right here, I get the Azeos Wilderness biome. And if I stand right here, I get the no biome. And that's exactly the same water that flows back and forth through here, right? And so if I were to demonstrate like I did earlier, I could be standing like right here on this one, no biome, and I remove this, and I fish from here into this pool to the left. This will get me Azeos water content. So let's go ahead and see what we get here, and I'll show you. Oh, it says, okay, so the fishes aren't biting, and that's because the Azeos water uses the 140, and my current fishing point is 138, right? So if I were to equip this here, then my fishing will go up to 189, and then you'll see that I actually can get that. So I didn't have to, so you'll see I don't have to change my fishing rod. I'll be able to get whatever content is right here. See? Done. And then you can see this is the Azeos featherfish. And even though I'm standing in the no biome tile, I can still get the Azeos fishing water on this side. And the same thing goes on this side over here. I can stand here and then throw my line like this, right? And this, I'm standing in the Azeos Wilderness, but this water on this side here is actually in the no biomes tag, and so when I fish this, I'll get like the regular fish, which is the orange cave guppy. See how that works? All right, so that's a demonstration of how the water dynamics work. Now, if you notice, like I was able to bring all the water, all the different fishing pools in one section right here. And so the trick here is to find an area on your map, right, in such a way where you can manage to get the Azeos Wilderness on this side and the Forgotten Ruins on this side. It's possible to get the regular water arranged in a way for easy access. So here I've managed to arrange it over here for the no biome, so I get the regular water here. I was able to put the murky water, the infected water here. I was able to put the toxic water here. And I was able to bring in the Sunken Sea water. So if you wanted to, you could squeeze this here over here, replace that, and then just shift everything over. And then there you have it. You have all the different water pools in your base if you happen to relocate your base, like right over here. Okay, so now that we've talked about the fishing rod and the fishing pools, let me explain how the fishing leveling works. All right, so here, this is the fishing skill tab, and this is the fishing points. To raise your fishing skill or fishing points, you simply need to fish up an item or successfully complete the fishing minigame. Let's call this a successful catch. Each successful catch grants 1 EXP. Currently, the game treats every catch the same regardless of the fish and rarity, so you will always get 1 EXP. The white bar below your fishing skill level is an experience progress bar. The bar uses 18 pixels to represent its progress. At skill level 0, the experience requirement to get to level 1 is 5 experience points, or 5 catches. The number of experience points required for each level increases gradually. So at level 99, it will require a lot more catches to reach level 100. It's not going to be as simple as 5 catches and you're done. As I mentioned, at level 0 is 5 EXP. So let's take 18 pixels, divide by 5, and that gives you roughly 3.6. So when you first do some fishing, you might notice that the progress bar moves anywhere between 3 to 4 pixels. Now at skill level 1, I can tell you it requires 6 successful catches, or 6 experience points. So 18 divided by 6 is 3. So you'll notice every time you do a successful catch at skill level 1, moving to skill level 2, you'll see the progress bar move by 3 pixels. So it'll look like you're getting a lot of EXPs moving this direction. So later on, you're going to see the experience bars move by 1 pixel only at a time, right? And eventually, you're not going to see the bar move at all, because it might take 5 catches or 10 catches to even move 1 pixel of this bar. All right. So that's something to understand, is that the catches are 1 point experience, and that the experience requirements varies from level to level. It actually increases over time. Okay, so what's the best way to level up? Well, the most efficient and fastest way to level up is to simply catch items and ignore the fishing game. The fishing game can take up a lot of time, and if you fail the game, you get no XP. No XP means no leveling up. If you get the mini game, simply roll your mouse wheel up and down to unequip the rod and back. Or hit a hotkey to say equip a weapon and then right back to your rod. All right? And that will just basically cancel out the minigame completely. Now you can use items that have a higher chance of getting items. For example, the lucky ring can be equipped in both of your ring fingers to get you a 7% chance to get a valuable or other non-fish items on the hook when fishing. So both of these will get you plus 14 chance of getting a valuable. And then there is the glowing bait, 10% chance to get a valuable or other non-fish item on the hook when fishing. So now we have a total of 20 plus 27% chance of getting items. Now, when spending points on your talent tree right here, you don't want to put points in this, right? The only reason I have points in this is because I've already maxed out on my fishing skills, so I don't really care if I get items or fishes anymore, right? But when you're trying to level up and you're not maxed out, right, you don't want to put points in this skill node here, because this means you're going to get fishes, and you don't want fishes. You want items, right? So don't put points in this. I would probably just put point in this and this, because if the fish does bite faster, right, then you can just roll your mouse wheel back and forth and cancel it out. So this here has nothing to do with this side on this side here. So it's basically whenever you throw a line, you're either going to get a fish or you're either going to get an item, right? And that probability is actually affected by this and this. And then the other thing too is, do not use the fishing school pools. So this little pool right here, don't cast your line into this pool. Otherwise, you're going to get fishes. The idea is not to get any fishes. The Sunken Sea update added some interesting new fishing content, including the fishing trader and the fishing baits. To get the fishing trader to show up in your base, first you need to kill Azeos, the Sky Titan, to obtain the chum. Okay, so let me go show you that. And this is the new fishing trader. And the chum works exactly like the trader and the merchant idols, right? You set up the fishing trader in your base exactly how you set up the other traders. Just create a room that is a 3x3 and place the bed in the room with the chum and walk away. Right, so here I've got the chum right here on the side. Let me pick that up to show you. This is what the pile of chum looks like. And when you get that from Azeos as a drop, you can place it on the ground inside your 3x3 room. And make sure you also have a bed here and that you don't sleep in the bed. Okay, that's the other important thing. And once you have this 3x3 room set up, you can walk away and then come back, make sure that it's off the screen about 60 tiles, and then come back in, say, 30 seconds or a minute, and then the fishing trader will appear in this room. Okay, now the fishing trader, let's take a look at him. He offers these 3 items here, these 3 fishes for sale: the orange guppy, daggerfin, azure feather fish. What's important about this guy is that he offers the various baits, and this bait right here is super important because it's actually used to craft the lure to summon the boss. So this one here is something of value or use. But by itself, you can actually get a higher chance for higher rarity fish to bite as an offhand, right? And I mentioned earlier, you can buy the ring from him and you can buy the necklace from him, right? And this one here, you can get a chance to fish on the hook. So if you're looking for fish, you can use this. But if you're trying to level, you don't want to use this, right? I mentioned that before. And now this one I mentioned earlier before, the fish starts 6% closer, and this will help the fishing game if you're trying to do fishing. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and close this door, go back here, and then the other item here is the fishing workbench. Let me pop this to show you here. So this is the bait workbench, right? It's called the bait workbench. You can craft that from one of the new workstations in these that you get from the Sunken Sea upgrade tier. Now the fishing bait offers you these various different baits here, right? Spicy bait, sweet bait, chance to get fish on the hook, fish to bite faster. This is the one that I mentioned earlier before. Increase your chances of getting the non-fish items on the hook, and that's what you need to level up. And then sticky baits, and this is also the other item that can help you, catch or do the mini games faster, basically. So if you're trying to do the mini game, this here is useful. All right. All right, so let me show you the various items related to fishing that got added to the Sunken Sea update. Now here is the full fishing gear set that you can get. We've got the diving helm. This comes from the Sunken Sea water. This is the kelp mantle, which I mentioned earlier, which can help you get the minigame fish to start closer to you. This drops off of the infested mold water. This is the scuba fins, 8% chance to get fish on the hook. This drops off of the regular water, the no biome water. And the Neptune necklace I mentioned earlier, you can purchase or you can get from the toxic water or the clay biome water label. And then we've got the goldfish ring, which comes from the stone biome or the Forgotten Ruins water biome tag. All right. And of course, the lucky ring, which I mentioned, and that, let me show you, you can buy from the vendor. And this vendor item here is something that you can get from the Sunken Sea Metropolis cities. And then you just basically, attack it and bring it back to your base and drop it. And that's how you can actually get your own vendor. And so that ring appears right here in this corner. And then the other item here is a new item, which gives you 12% chance for higher rarity fish to bite. This is a craftable necklace that comes from the jewelry station. Also, again, a new thing that you can get from the Sunken Sea update. All right, so let's talk about the talent tree for fishing. I'm going to pull it up here, and then you can take a look. as you can see here, I've already maxed out my fishing skill level, and I've already spent all my points. But I'll go ahead and reset this. Okay, so when you first start off at fishing level 0, right, you won't get any fishing points, and for every 5 fishing points that you get, you will get 1 fishing talent point to spend. And so there's 100 points here. So you're thinking, okay, well, 100 divided by 5, that's 20. So you should be getting 20 talent points. Well, once you hit 100, you're going to get another bonus 5 points to spend. So you'll have a total of 25 points, not just 20. And that's only if you get to level 100 will you get that extra 5 bonus points. All right. So as I mentioned earlier, right, the first node you'll have to spend to progress through this, and the first node makes the fishing game easier. The fish starts closer when you spend a point in here, right? So now we'll get 3% closer. If you put all 5, you'll get 15% closer. All right, so as I mentioned earlier, if you're trying to level up fishing and you're not at 100, you want to get no fish. You want to just get items. So if you're trying to get no item, or you're trying to get items and no fish, you don't want to spend points in this, because this means you're trading off getting fishes instead of items as the percentage change. All right, so don't spend points in here. So I would just spend points in this. This will just mean the fish will bite faster. So if the fish bites faster, you can actually cancel the minigame faster, because when you throw the line out into the water, it's kind of a percentage of whether you get fish or items. All right. So if it happens to be the percentage that lands on the dice roll saying you get a fish, then instead of like making you wait, this will actually make the fish actually bite faster, so you can cancel the minigame faster. So I would put points in this, right? And then you're now down to here. I don't recommend putting points into this, because this is pretty much a waste. This basically extends the distance that you can throw your line. So you don't want to really put points in this. And the reason why I say this is that you can always go to your tile by bridging towards it and just right click and drop your rod down, right? So this is not even important. So I would put points in this, which allows you to do slippery movement reduction. And that slippery movement is related to the blue slimes, basically. So when you're fighting the blue slime boss and you're standing on the blue slime ground, you're getting slippery movement, or you get hit by one of the blue slimes. So I would put points in this to reduce the slippery movement penalty, right? And then now you're left with probably other choices. And as I said to you before, is that 5 points, you can only get that remaining 5 points if you hit level 100. So chances are you're only going to get like 1 to 5 now if you haven't reached 100 yet, or 1 to 4. So I would put points into just increasing your range damage. I mean, you could put points into this if you want. It really doesn't matter too much, I guess, unless you're trying to go for like the range build, then yeah, I would definitely put points into this, because that would make your range damage better. But if you're trying to fight the boss and you really do want to eat the cooked fish and you're trying to go for melee damage, right, then this is actually pretty useful for melee damage against the boss. Okay, so from here it's like, I don't really have a specific advice for you. It really depends on your playstyle and how you do combat damage. All right, but this one right here is just absolutely a waste. All right, so once you've maxed out your fishing talent tree, right, then you can probably want to go towards this. This is study patterns, and this will basically give you a chance to have increased dodge, right? So I'll put points in here just to go there to show you, right? So if you max this out, you actually will get 10% dodge, and that's very useful later when you do max out your fishing talent points. Okay, and for me, like I would just go through this at the very end, and for me, this makes my legendary bow better, and so this is where I prefer spending my points, because I don't plan on doing a whole lot of fishing. All right, so that summarizes the fishing talent tree and where best to spend your points. Okay. So now that I've shown you all the baits that you can craft and buy, let me point out a special bait, which is the Expert Lure. And this lure is actually used to summon Amaroth, the Sea Titan. And it's crafted from the hologram pod. And if you go over the hologram pod and you roll your mouse over this, you'll see that it takes the one purple bait. You'll have to buy that from the trader, and then craft the spicy bait, sweet bait, and glowing bait from the bait workbench. Once you craft this, you'll get this. And for the summoning of the Amaroth, just go ahead and check out my Amaroth video guide. In the last part of this video, I want to show you all the items that you can get from fishing in the various water sources. So all the information here I'm about to show you, you can actually get from the wiki, but I do want to make it a complete video guide for fishing, showing you every item that you can get. So here I've got, a box full of all the stuff that you can get from the Sunken Sea water, and the top row I have all the resources that you can fish up. Now the notable item here is the diving helm, and this here gives you 7% chance of higher rarity fish to bite, and I've mentioned this already earlier. Don't forget, you can also reinforce this to boost up the stats, and this is what I did over here to the stats here. And this middle row here are all the valuables that can come out of this water source. Now this here is not a valuable. It is an offhand. It will give you health regen when equipped in your offhand. Now I did sort this based on the commons to the most valuable. So from left to right, the right side is the most valuable. And you can sell these to the trader to get coins. Now the bottom row here are all the fishes that you can get, right? And each of these fishes have different rarities sorted from the left to the right. So the higher rarities are here. So let's say you wanted, a higher rarity fish. You want to equip this in your headpiece, and then you might get like a better chance of this showing up on the mini game. So this is the Sunken Sea water. So let me go over here to the Forgotten Ruins water, and here you can kind of see there are 4 different fish types that can come out of this pool here, and I've placed it on the little pedestal here to show you. And in the box, they line up to what's on the pedestal. Again, the first row basically are resources that you can get from this pool. Now, the notable item here is the goldfish ring. It allows fish bites faster by 13%. So if you're just trying to catch fishes, then this ring might be useful here. But like I said, I prefer the lucky ring for leveling. Here are all the valuables that you can get, sorted from left to right. Now the other notable item here that you can also get is the Bubble Pearl Necklace, which will provide a dodge chance to your necklace slot, which is very nice. And from left to right, this is the common to the most rare, and this is actually the epic item here, or epic fish, the crown squid. So these are the items here. And now this here is the regular no biome water, which is, you can either find them in the dirt biome area, or in between biomes. For example, I'm in between here, the Azeos water and the Forgotten Ruins. So there's a little gap between here to here, which actually has a no biome tag. And so this is the water that's associated to no biome tag. And this is the common water. So let me go and show you. This is the orange guppy here, and these are also the fishes that you can get. The rare one is the gem crab. And the top row, again, just resources that you can get up. And then here are the valuables. And the notable items here is the cave guppy necklace, 6% dodge. Now, the necklace, if you get the necklace from the Forgotten Ruins, is obviously better than this. And there's also another necklace, that's better than this for dodge, but it's not from fishing. The scuba fins is the other item that you can get from this here. This is part of the set. Now, I mentioned this earlier as one of the items. 8% chance to get fish on the hook. Now, you don't want this if you're actually trying to level up. If you do want fish, then yeah, go ahead and wear this in your pants slot. So let's go ahead and take a look here. Now, this here is the clay biome water, right? This is the hive area. This where you're going to get the toxic water to show up. So we're going to take a look at this. So here is top row are just, resources that you can get. You can get 10, obviously, because it's the clay area. So the notable item here is the Neptune necklace, which is the 53 fishing points added, and it's also part of the set. And then the bottom row here are valuables that you can get. A notable item is the rusted ring. Okay, that gives 7 armor. It's not that great, but it is something that you can get, and you can probably salvage this to get some pretty good materials back. Now this here is the bottom row here are the fishes that you can get, and sorted from the left to right, most common to rare. And this is the eel here, right? And this is the infected mold water, and this murky color. And it only has 3 different fish items to loot or to catch. So let's take a look at that. The top row, again, just resources that you can get from the water. Now the notable item here is the kept mantle, which I mentioned earlier. Fish start 7% closer to be reeled in. Now don't forget, you can also reinforce this to get that extra 1%. So fish starts closer at a total of 8% if you reinforce this. And the middle row here are valuables, nothing notable in terms of items. And then the bottom row are the fishes that you can get, sorting from the left to the right. And then here, we've already seen this water here. I've already gone through this. This is the regular no biome tag, so I won't go over that again. And then we have here the Azeos water right here. And these are the content for the Azeos water. It's the top row will have the resources that you can fish up, right? And the notable item here is the seafoam ring, but I also mentioned that the seafoam ring can be purchased from the trader. So keep that in mind. If you're tight on money and you don't want to spend the coins to buy it, then go ahead and fish it up, because then you can actually salvage this and get some good scraps and parts back, or you can trade this with your friends. The bottom row here or the middle row here are the valuables that you can get from the Azeos water, and then this row here are the various fishes that you get from the left to right. This one being the highest rarity. And I mentioned the astral jelly, right? If you cook this, you can actually get, I guess, plus fishing skill points. Now, I'm not going to go over the various different cooking items, but if you do cook each of these various different fishes, they will provide you different cooking benefits. Now, the fishes itself does not actually tell you what their benefits are. And so the only way to find out is actually if you cook them once with some other ingredient, or just double up the item itself, and then you can actually get the fishing benefits. And I will actually go over the different benefits of these things in a separate video for cooking, right? But yeah, I've actually cooked at least one of everything of all the different fishes. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to scroll through all of this so you can see the different fishes and their benefits, and that way you can kind of see here. There we go. So that one's a thorn there, and that one has a melee damage. This is armor there. That's a thorn one. Okay, oh man, a lot of these fishes actually have thorns damage. Okay, and that's a melee attack speed fish. This is probably the range one, I think. Yeah, see, it's got the range on that one. And this one is the knockback, right? This one's a knockback fish. And this one is the immune to slime. Wow, that's interesting. Yeah, this is the immune to slime fish. Okay, and then this was probably immune to something else, right? Yeah, it's immune to slime. Oh, it's immune to acid damage. Okay, so this fish actually does acid immunity. Very interesting. This is a range damage fish, which is really nice to have. And this one, what's this one here? This is life on hit. So it's kind of nice, vampire eel. So you can get life on melee hit here. And then this one here, I think this is melee damage, right? Okay, that's the melee damage one. And the benefit for this one is, okay, immune to mold infection. So eating this fish cooked up, you can actually walk over mold and not get slowed down. And then this one here is the armor and thorns. Armor and thorns. So it actually gives you both, right? Because I cooked it up with mushrooms, so you can actually tell. Okay, and then this one here is melee damage. I think the next one is range. Or no. This next one is critical, right? It's critical. And this is, what is this? This is the, yeah, it's critical. It is still critical. And then this one here gives you, I guess, movement speed. The Spirit Veil, movement speed. And then lastly, I think here is the Astral Jelly 63. It's the fishing points. Oh wait, no, there's more here. This is the Tracer, gives you mining damage. Wow, okay, mining damage. Interesting. The Tracer also gives you mining damage. That's new. And then this one here is 31% crit hit damage. Okay. And this one here does dodge chance. And then this one here does the range damage for 5. Okay. And also health no, the health regen is normal. The range damage is unique to that fish, and I believe this is the mining speed. Okay, mining speed. And that sums it up. And now this completes our video guide. If you found this video helpful, please hit the like button and share it with your friends. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you're not already a subscriber. Okay, until next time, thanks for watching.